whiskey. Empire Wild, baby.
Hi guys.
What's up? What's up?
Sorry to be really quick on stopping the song. Otherwise, you know how it is. We'll just keep playing the music. Welcome back to another episode of Beer Me Dr. V, where it's never refilled too soon. What is up?
What's up?
We are back. Last week we released an episode for National Beer Lovers Day, which was last Thursday. We created a stout, our last of our 3 beer kits that came with our Brew Demon kit that my brother Kenny got me many moons ago. The stout is on day 5 of 7 for fermentation, so we're going to get close to bottling, which will release a little mini episode on that process, which you should have seen already because we've done it for the IPA. We actually didn't end up releasing a video of us tasting it. What did you think? Did you try it? You tried the IPA, right?
Yeah.
So we put some pineapple in half of it and left it normal by itself, the other half. It was kind of dark. The SRMs are pretty dark, but apparently they put stuff in the beer to make it lighter color in the case that you don't want it as dark as it came out. Yeah, it was a little bit, I don't know. There was...
The normal one was okay. I think we put a little bit too much
pineapple. I don't know. I guess we'll see too, because we actually drank it like the first day of conditioning or second day of conditioning. So maybe now it might be a little bit better. I don't know. It's the bitterness. It wasn't really, I would say it did have some bitterness to it, but it was something else that I wasn't really a fan of in the beer. But we'll see how the stout goes. We put some pumpkin. I boiled some pumpkin and cinnamon in the boil, so we'll see how it tastes. It smelled really nice, and I did throw an extra cinnamon stick. So we steeped that while it was boiling, and then I put a cinnamon stick in the fermentation tank itself. So hopefully it doesn't break down and give us nasty particles, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so stay tuned for those mini episodes. So the fermentation process is ongoing. Watch our YouTube or our Instagram to see how the brewing is going. We also didn't use our yeast that came with it, so that's a different process. It just luckily I only put half that baggie because it gave me the same lip that the other 2 beers in the past gave me. So I think I did a good thing by just doing 3 grams instead of full 6 grams that it came with. So if you hadn't noticed, we had a little bit of Paul Wall on for the episode. Today, on this episode of Beer Me Dr. V, we are showcasing No Label Brewing in Katy, Texas. Got my No Label swag on. I got this shirt probably like very early on when I first started going there. And then I also have a cup. I should have had you drink something out of the cup so we can see it. It was probably one of the first cups that I had gotten as like a Yeti style cup. So my sister lives fairly close to the brewery, and so I guess it was when I was in pharmacy school. I had gone down for my 4th year of rotations, and so I think that was probably about the first time that I had visited there, and it was 2017, 2018 time frame. And yeah, I just happened to find it. I was like, oh my gosh, you have a brewery that's like down the street. And it was almost like to me, it was kind of like a speakeasy because it was in the middle of like these giant tanks. And then back then I didn't really know about the whole thing about you have to have breweries in industrial areas in Texas. So they actually opened in 2010, which makes sense of where they are. And now, 13 years later, they're still at that same location, but everybody knows where they're at. And there's actually now a liquor distillery like right across the walkway. And so kind of, where they're at is still really nice. It's an older Katy area, like off Old Katy Road, somewhat near the Buc-ee's. It's not too far, not hard to find. Really nice now. They've upgraded it since I had been. They have a lot more tables. They have a little playground. The time before when I had went last, they were having an event for German Shepherds, like a German Shepherd meetup. So that was kind of cool. That was actually before we had Stella. So that was interesting. I actually had gone there a couple times with my friend Jeff when we were in pharmacy school, so we could meet up and study and stuff and drink beer. So that was always awesome. But I had my little clique for a minute when I used to go there, and then they are no longer there from the staff that I remember. But yes, definitely a lot of changes for the better. So they're trying to improve. They got that one of those big ass fans. I don't think it's actually a big ass fan, but it's kind of like that. So it was still really hot the other day that we went when we were down in Houston, but still a good time. Enjoy their beer. I really liked. Actually have 6 variety pack or 4 variety pack packs that you can buy beers to go. So you can buy full 6 packs if you want to, or you can just buy 4 packs of miscellaneous beers. So we actually ended up getting a 6 pack of miscellaneous beers. I had 3 while I was down there, and we kept the 3 that we wanted to do in our episode today. So going back, 2010, Brian and Jennifer Royo, and it's so cute. Some of the articles I found, they said, check out the new Royal tea, cute, and like of the brewery area in Katy, Texas. So I thought that was kind of funny. So back in the day, Brian actually for his 30th birthday got a brewing kit. So literally this is everyone's story pretty much. He got a brewing kit. They started brewing. They were hanging out with their family, drinking one of their home brews. I think it was Ridgeback Amber, which at first I was like, wait, is that a saying? And I was like, oh, actually, that's the name of the beer. And they decided that they were going to open a brewery. And it wasn't a straight line. It took a lot of waiting for permits and, just figuring out, hey, we really want to open a brewery. We don't have this. There's a niche. There's a need. There's a market for it. We want to go somewhere that we can bring our kids, but also still have a good time. So here comes No Label. So at the time when they opened No Label, there were only 2 other breweries in Houston at the time. There were no breweries on the west side of Houston, aka Katy area, so it was a perfect time for them to open up the brewery because there wasn't anything there yet. So they found a location, Rice Silos. They found a location at the Rice Silos. There was a warehouse right next to it. They cleaned it up, and they started off with only 10 people showing up to now 500 people over each Saturday, pretty much getting there. So some of our favorites from there, I really like the El Jefe, which is their Hefeweizen from there. They had a fun construction worker one, which I can't remember what that was called, but that one was a fairly new beer. I thought that was funny. Some of their staples would be the El Jefe, the Sittin Sidehaze, which we have today, their Cali Boy, West Coast IPA, Gillies Blonde, and the 1980 Kolsch. One of my first favorites was the 1980 Kolsch, and those are their year-round beers. So they do have options for you to rent out their tap room, or hey, again, you can kind of rent a few tables. They have music, and now there is a covered space for you to have music. Don't move their tables; they're gonna get mad. As far as the to-go beer goes, just make sure that you're not supposed to drink to-go beers on site. You have to get them from the draft. So just normal, couple things. You can rent out the space if you want to, and then depending on what kind of party you're having, it just depends on what hours they're open. So yeah, but okay, let's get into the first beer, babe. What do we got?
First one will be the Up and Away.
Up and Away.
So this is a 6.4 ABV, 55 IBUs, a New England style hazy IPA.
Oh. And I wonder because I feel like they do have a fair amount of hazy beers, and so I was actually really impressed with their lineup when I first went there. And I was like, oh, well, I go to pharmacy school in Maine, and I don't think I've ever had a New England IPA outside of New England. So I thought that was really cool that they were able to showcase a New England IPA, and it actually tastes like a New England IPA. Is there like a full cartoon on the back of the can?
Well, there's some pictures, yeah.
It looks like a little mad scientist. Right. That writing is like super small. From the World Beer Cup to the U.S. Open for multiple beers, to 43 awards and counting. So really well-established beer, but they say still trying to figure it out. So cool. I like how they post a lot of them. Oh, the beer, it was hard hats and 6-packs.
Oh yeah.
That one actually won the 2023 gold medal New York International Beer Competition. Ooh. Very cool. Doesn't say what style of beer, but that's actually really cool. I wonder if it was like that beer won it. So dope. Okay, so let's try it out. So hazy, I don't really necessarily. It's a lighter hazy beer.
Yeah, it's not that hazy.
Yeah, I would say this is a straw yellow, and for the percentage of alcohol, remind me the IBUs. Ooh, this smells really good.
55 IBUs.
Okay, it smells juicy for sure. Oh yeah, it's got a bite to it that's what is this what kind of hops? Does it say anything about the hops in it?
No.
This almost reminds me of Mosaic or Cascade maybe. See, and this was one of the first places I would go to, and I was like, man, they don't tell you what kind of hops are in their beers. Boo. I must stop the madness. Up and away. That's funny. So it says, under the cover of the darkness, Dr. Dank steals a no-label secret rhizome stash. Back at his lab, he infuses them with mind-controlling parasites. So I wonder if it's Dank. Oh, that's so cute. And they have the no-label, like, it looks like the no-label on there. What's rhizome? Is that something that I should know what that is? What's a rhizome, babe? I would say if I were just trying that, it's actually a very bitter. I wouldn't understand that, how that's a 55 IBU. It tastes stronger than that. But it's probably because of the hops, to be honest. And then I wish I knew what the hops were. Rhizomes are a continuously growing horizontal underground stem which puts out lateral shoots and advantageous roots at intervals. Rhizomes. Okay, so yeah, I was like, should I know what that is? But yeah, I don't know. As far as hops go, probably, I don't know. Mosaic's usually a little bit darker. It's definitely a more higher content percentage alpha acid hop. Because 55 IBUs, no way. I would think this was like 80 or 90. It's pretty bitter at the finish for sure. While we're in the middle of this, So I've been going on the Cicerone website trying to figure out how to schedule my beer server exam or actually take it online, but I can't figure it out. So while I was on the website, one of the things that came up was this giant beer flavor map. I thought, for some reason in my mind, I thought it was a map of where beer was from, but it's a flavor map. So it kind of helps with like characteristics of how to describe beer flavors. So that I thought was kind of interesting. So I was like, I figured this might help us with our vocabulary when we're describing beer. Babe, guess how much I paid for this?
How much?
Guess.
What, $20?
No more.
What?
It was because of shipping.
Return this thing.
It's so small. I didn't know. It was $43 after shipping. I thought this was way
ripped
bigger.
You off.
I know. I'm so sad. I'm gonna scan this and return it. Yeah, so I was not happy when I opened the package to see it was like this tiny 12 by 16, whatever this is. But yeah, while we have it, let's read it. Look, there is a section on stone fruit. Remember what stone fruits are, Beeb?
Yeah.
Peach, apricot, nectarine, cherries, and plums. Tropical, all the tropical flavors. Grassy, green leaves, hay, dry leaves. Spicy, black pepper, nutmeg, allspice, clove. This might be pretty cool. I'm actually very intrigued. Oh, look, so sweet, sour, salty, bitter, fat, umami. I'm pretty sure it was $43 after tax and shipping, but I can't remember. All right, so we're going to end up using this a lot because I paid for it. It was expensive. All right. Hey, I even paid less for the index cards. The index cards were only $14.
That's crazy. They ripped you off.
It's expensive because of the shipping. People are not used to paying shipping anymore because of Amazon. It's their fault. All right. What's next?
So the next one is called the Sittin Sidehaze.
Sittin Sidehaze.
Yeah, so this is also a New England style hazy IPA. This one's 6.7 ABVs and 55 IBUs.
Okay.
So it's just slightly more high in alcohol percentage.
Let me up. Okay, cool. So if you look at the can on the Sittin Sidehaze, a couple of their characters from their other beers are on it. So the girl from El Jefe is sitting in the passenger. There's a dog in the back seat. And then the skeleton dude I recognize, but I cannot tell you what beer he's from. But I know I recognized him. So as far as events go, they usually will do their Hop Solo release on May the 4th Be With You on May 4th. So I do have a cup. I think I only have one. And then, you know what? There was an event. I think there was like a 5K the day that we went to No Label because we got those 2 glasses and they gave them to us. There was something going on that day. So, but yeah. Okay, so this one's pretty similar in color.
They're not really hazy.
Yeah, they're not super hazy. Is this one considered a New England IPA as well?
Yeah, it's a New England style hazy IPA.
It smells
so
the
it's also
same.
going to be better. It should be better.
It smells tropical. But you can tell there is a little bit of color difference. So this one's a little bit more on the hazier side. And I mean, maybe once it settles, it may not be. But look, this one's a little bit more hazy. Check it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
This one's a little bit more hazy. Any stats on Untapped from this that we know about?
No, well, this one, This one's made out of a couple different hops. So it has a fusion of Citra, El Dorado, and Asaka hops.
Ooh.
I don't think we've ever had Asaka hops.
Asaka hops?
Yeah.
This definitely tastes like El Dorado. Dude, I like being able to taste the hops and know what I'm drinking, because then I'm like, oh, see, I do know this hop. Because especially with like the Cicerone exams, like how am I supposed to know what I'm tasting if they don't tell me what's in the beer? I gotta be able to know. Azaka hop?
Yep.
Let's check Yamaka Valley. How do you spell that?
2 C's.
Z's as in zebras.
No, like 1 Z as in zebra.
Oh,
2
and C's as in cat. The accent, you guys. Aha, I found it. I prefer this one. Okay, I know I was listening, but what IBUs is in this one? And
55.
Oh, it's also 55?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's 6.7 ABV.
Okay. Oh, Beer Maverick came up. I want Yamaka. I like their illustrations. Babe, name one other brewery in Houston.
Don't know. The walking stick one?
Oh, that's so funny because the two options I was gonna name was St. Arnold's.
Oh yeah.
And walking stick, which is funny that you said that. I was like, oh my gosh, I was gonna say the walking stick. All right, yeah, I was trying to fill the gap while I was looking. So Azaka hops, some key flavors. We got sweet fruit, citrus, woody, aromatic, and green grassy. Green grassy. How's your green grassy outside doing? Where are my stats? I like to read the characteristics. Oh, and you can get 2 different series. Let's see. Oh, okay. Examples of beers brewed with Azaka hops. I don't know anything. Oh, Fantastic Haze by Sierra Nevada. I know, that's probably the only one I know. It doesn't talk about the alpha acids. Maybe it doesn't have it. It doesn't have any of that information. Huh. It is big in alpha acids, 14 to 16%. Has a bright and refreshing aroma with juicy mango, tropical fruits, and citrus. Cool. Okay. Now we know.
Yep.
Sweet aroma, juicy flavors, which is what we both.
What would you rank this beer?
Oh, I didn't rank the first one either. Okay. So going back to the up and away. Now I'm kind of biased. I didn't really like this one too much when I had it at first. I'd probably give this a 3.5, and I'm gonna give this one a 3.75.
Ooh.
I might give this one a 4 actually. I like this one.
Well, back in 2017.
Oh, I've checked this in?
You rated this a 5.
Wow, see, I do like that one. It's a 4 at least for now. It is pretty good. I didn't realize I actually had this one before. Have I had the up and away? No, right? That one's new. Okay. Well, new.
I've ranked this a 4.25.
Ooh. In 2017 also? Or when you just had it?
I had it in 2020.
Oh, wow. See, that was the last time we went, 2020. See, 2017. That's when I first started going there pretty often. Cool. Okay, yes, thoroughly enjoyed it. So I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think I have yet. So sad news, which I guess I would have never realized because I started going there in 2017. But in 2018, Brian actually was like, you know what, guys, I'm not as passionate about beer anymore. So he brought on a new team to, and he's still kind of helping out in the background. And Jennifer is still helping with a lot of duties there. But he's pretty much stepped back as owner. And now they have 2 new owners, which is Garrett Hart and Tom Painter. And they actually just started having a new head brewer. His name is Ryan Traylor, not how you think it's spelled. He had actually just joined in 2020 in August. So he's been there about 3 years now, if he's still with them. Should be. So with those 2 new owners, and then, with Jennifer still kind of making upgrades and things like that, they have had some changes since 2018, but again, mostly for the better from what I've seen. I haven't heard any issues with them. It sounds like, yes, they produce about 4,000 barrels per year, 35 beers on tap. So let's go into as far as what a micro versus macro brewery are again, because we hadn't talked about it in a little bit. So if they do 4,000 barrels a year, a microbrewery can do no more than 15,000 barrels or 465 gallons of beer. So in the case that they are a nano brewery, it would be less than 2,000. Micro is less than 15 barrels, 15,000. And then macro would be considered greater than 15,000 barrels. So in the case that someone's considered a microbrewery, they actually have to sell 75% of their beer off campus. So that's why they have the to-go beers for a lot of their purchase. So very interesting facts. I feel like it's important to kind of keep that in mind. Imagine for us, like we're doing right now, little baby fermenter of a gallon. And again, we're going to be, after this stout, we're going to do a 5-gallon beer, and we got a blonde to try out first, so we'll see how that goes. And I would probably want to get more flavoring just so we can try to do something, and then maybe, who knows, if we can. It just sucks because we can't do bottles at the wedding. If we could, we probably could bring our beer to the wedding, but do the square keg and bring it. I don't know how that works. Not yet. Science. Okay. All right, let's go to the last beer. That was so fast.
Yeah, so this last one is gonna be a fun one. The Cali boy. So this beer is at 7.5% ABV. Okay. So a little bit stronger and 90 IBU. So it's gonna be better.
I haven't.
If the 55s were better, this 90 is gonna be fun.
Oh my goodness.
So this is interesting. This the flavor profile of this should be get a little pineapple and a little bit of fresh ganja. Fresh cannabis.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, it says cannabis. It should have a aroma of some cannabis and a little taste to it as well.
Okay. So I don't know if we've talked about it before, because I think this might be our first West Coast IPA that we've had on the podcast already. So, I mean, not already. We're like 24. I think this is our 23rd or 24th episode already. So, New England style IPAs are going to be more hazy beers. West Coast style IPAs are actually not hazy. They're a lot more common or similar to American style IPAs, where the hops are added during the boil. So the extracts are going to be coming majority from the bitterness of the hops when they boil, versus like New England style IPA sounds like the majority of the hops are added later in the brewing process. So that's kind of good to know. Okay, color wise, it is a little bit on the darker side. I would say this is golden for sure. It's not hazy, which we're expecting. And again, the hops are added during the boil, so I wonder maybe aromatically. So IBUs can tell you off the bat, and the alcohol percentage, they're both higher. Aromatic, there is some aroma to it. It tastes like liquor, like alcohol. Like it's boozy. It's boozy.
Well,
it's almost got like a molassesy, not really, like, I guess it's the malt. It's like I can taste like the malt, and I'm maybe that could be the bitterness from the hops. Very distinct difference. I would say this initially reminds me of the bitterness of the first, the Up and Away, but then there's a very smooth, like creamy, not creamy, like honey, molasses, kind of buttery, not buttery. It's just very smooth, but it could be between the liquor and like the velvet, I would say velvety taste at the finish.
You taste that good, that ganja.
I don't know what weed tastes like. Ew. Okay, let's see if I can describe this based on my sheet. Band-Aid, ew. Oh, you know what? It's kind of bready. The first and third one, you would think, right? Kind of bready to you. Resinous, I would say. Kind of like earthy, woody. Yeah, I would say along those lines. I would probably say resinous. It's that molasses, I'm saying. It's like very, like you can almost taste the thickness or like slowness of honey while you drink this. And it kind of goes with that color too, I would say. It's not what I would generally go for. I've definitely had West Coast IPAs in the past. I think that's one of the features that on Untappd you can actually pull up your beers based on the styles. And I'm wondering, honestly, how many like West Coast IPAs I've had in the past or what I can compare this to, because it's been quite some time since I've actually had a West Coast IPA. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, you can.
You can filter your beers.
On your profile, like, I've had 91 American IPAs.
Filter by style.
Yeah.
Deselect all. Let's see, West Coast.
I had 92 New England style hazies.
Mine doesn't come up West Coast. What did you put? American style IPA?
Yeah, it's an American style IPA.
American.
Mm-hmm.
American Pale Ale?
Yep.
67. Oh no, American IPA. 169.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, applied. Let's see. Show results. Go Untappd. All right. I don't even remember. Oh, Rising Tide. That's in Maine. Green to Green. Yum, babe. We have to go to Massachusetts just so we can go to Treehouse.
Yeah.
Like, I would totally do that for sure. I would definitely say it's drinkable. It's just a little bit boozier for me. I mean, we're kind of working our way up to it. 50-foot Jackrabbit. I would probably compare that to this, but I apparently love 50-foot Jackrabbit because I rated it a 4 or 5. Bankhead Brewery also has mile marker 10. That's an American IPA. Bubble Stash. I actually had that at a concert. Oh, and Space Dust. Okay, this reminds me of Space Dust. This, like, if I was going to compare Cali Boy to another beer, it would probably be Space Dust from Elysian Brewing Company, for sure. I don't know. Are they from Cali? I thought they were from Colorado for some reason. Oh, Seattle. They're from Seattle, Washington. Cool. Oh my gosh, next time we go to Seattle, we should go to the brewery. Okay. Rating-wise, it wouldn't be my go-to only because it's pretty boozy and high IBUs for me. I wouldn't start with that. I would want to kind of ease my way into it. So a couple beers down the line, sure, Cali Boy, why not? It looks like Chris Stapleton. I'm feeling the can. The color-wise, it doesn't really, it's not very daunting. If you like IPAs and you like West Coast IPAs, I think it's definitely worth a try. It's definitely different compared to what they have. I don't know if they have any other West Coast IPAs on tap. I feel like I've definitely had West Coast IPAs from them before, but I don't think it was Cali Boy last time I've had that. But yeah, overall, I'd probably give this one a 3.5 too, just to be fair. 3.5. Stick to it.
3.5.
But yes, overall favorite, obviously Sittin Sidehaze. I put the song Sittin Sideways, and I just, I didn't even plan that. Because I don't even remember that I've had this before, so I probably would have left another beer that I haven't tried yet. But it's kind of good to kind of go back. Like, that's what we mentioned. We like to go back and see what we think for beers. Clearly, I like the beer, but, again, we are being really strict on what we rate beers with. I could have rated this a 4.25, and I still probably would have been happy about that, too. So, okay. Overall, great. Love No Label. Whenever we can visit down to Katy area, we try and go. It's a lot more comfortable when it's like early winter time and spring, because the summer is pretty hot. I don't know if they have plans on moving at all, but most people that know that they go there just expect to be hot or be prepared. Or they just are acclimated to it at that point. But yeah, this episode was really great. I enjoyed the beers. Kind of got similar profiles, other than the West Coast. It's kind of like, two New England style IPAs, a West Coast IPA, and the beer flavor map. We're going to have to read on that a little bit more just to try and make sure our descriptors are eloquent and sophisticated and astute for our beer palates.
And astute
for our beer tasting palates. Hopefully I can figure out how to do my Cicerone test so I can do the first one, get it out the way, and then I can try and study for the second one. Other than that, anything else, babe?
That's it.
Final thoughts?
No Label is fun.
Yeah. I wonder, did they have a Buc-ee's beer? I know they did the Whataburger logo kind of thing, but They should do a Bucky's beer, guys. Who did the Beaver Nuggets beer? Oh, that was here, actually. Panther Island did a Beaver Nuggets beer. Not affiliated with Bucky's at all, but they did that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Brewing Dr. V. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with No Label Brewing Company in Katy, Texas. We will continue to do beer episodes. Please do reply and comment on our posts, our YouTube channel, our TikTok, our Instagram to say, hey, have you tried this beer? Because we're more than happy to go and look for the beer. So we actually did one recently, Manhattan Project Beer Company beer. They didn't have it in the grocery store, but they did have it on tap. So at some point when I go down to Dallas, I'm going to Dallas on Thursday for work, but I probably won't have time that day. But I actually I'm going to start doing my self-care before the wedding. So I'm going to go to Face House to get a nice relaxing spa day for myself, and maybe I'll get a beer on the way home because you're actually going to be in Cancun for your bachelor party. So maybe I'll treat myself to a beer, and I'll drop the dogs off at daycare, and I'll pick them up after I have a brewski. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, I'm Dr. V.
And Mags.
We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.